Modern warfare is no longer just an optimization game of heavy armor, ballistic trajectories, or raw numbers of boots on the ground. The modern theater of conflict is moving to the edge, where milliseconds dictate survival, and silicon is as lethal as gunpowder. Welcome back to EdgeVerse Intelligence. Today, we are taking you behind the curtain of Day 2 at DEF-TECH Bharat 2026, held right in the heart of India's Silicon Valley. While Day 1 of any defense expo is usually defined by ceremonial handshakes and high-level political posturing, Day 2 is where the real work happens. This is the day the floor opened to the engineers, the system integrators, the military procurement officers, and the defense tech startups rewriting the rules of engagement. From the introduction of the multi-million-dollar ADITI deep tech grants to the silent war raging in the C4 ISR and electronic warfare domains, we are breaking down every single announcement, technology, and strategic shift that occurred on May 21st, 2026. If you want to understand how modern nations are transitioning from passive battlefield visibility to automated, proactive threat management, this is the blueprint.
To understand the technology of Day 2, you first have to understand how it gets funded. The primary gravitational pull on the expo floor centered heavily around the iDEX and ADITI schemes. For the uninitiated, the ADITI, or Acing Development of Innovative Technologies with iDEX framework, isn't just another government grant. It represents a massive pivot toward high-tier, deep-tech defense funding, offering grants up to 25 crore rupees to critical infrastructure startups. Throughout May 21st, the B2B matchmaking corridors saw intensive closed-door interactions. The mission? Bridging the gap between brilliant, insulated private tech innovators and state ordnance purchase officers who hold the keys to active military pipelines. Under the umbrella of Atmanirbhar Bharat, the theme of Day 2 wasn't just innovation, it was market capture. The goal is to move India away from being a legacy importer of foreign defense components to an absolute sovereign powerhouse in indigenous military supply chains. We watched as Tier 1 defense suppliers negotiated component integration directly with local MSMEs, cementing a highly localized ecosystem designed to withstand global supply chain shocks.
Let's talk hardware. Day 2 played host to over 200 specialized engineering firms from India and 12 strategic partner nations, including pioneering teams from the UK, France, Australia, Germany, and Singapore. And the standout domain? Advanced defense electronics. We observed a massive influx of ruggedized radio frequency and microwave interfaces, alongside space-grade satellite payloads and specialized military microcontrollers. These aren't your average commercial chips. These are silicon architectures hardened against electromagnetic pulses, extreme thermal fluctuations, and electronic jamming. But hardware is nothing without signature management. Companies like Excitatl commanded massive attention on the floor by showcasing advanced electro-optical and infrared simulations. In modern warfare, if you can be seen, you can be targeted. Zetadale software focuses on plume signature management, analyzing the heat signature of missiles and aircraft engines to develop advanced stealth camouflage and countermeasure technologies. Furthermore, their deployment of AI-driven synthetic data generation allows military algorithms to train for thousands of battlefield scenarios entirely in a digital sandbox before a single asset ever deploys. And for physical protection, the manufacturing sector showed off advanced CNC custom metal forging and laser cutting systems, side by side with next-generation armored fabrics. The goal here is simple: maximize structural integrity, minimize thermal signature, and drop dead weight.
If you stepped away from the indoor halls and moved toward the tactical live testing grids, the air was filled with the hum of next-generation unmanned aerial vehicles. Day 2 featured continuous operational scenarios that put drone technology through the ultimate gauntlet. The headline challenge of these live demonstrations was autonomous navigation in GPS-denied environments. In a peer-to-peer conflict, electronic warfare units will instantly blank out GPS signals. Drones that rely on satellite navigation become expensive paperweights. To counter this, the platforms demonstrated on Day 2 utilized advanced computer vision, edge computing optical flow and localized sensors to navigate entirely on their own, mapping out terrain in real time via advanced tactical mapping systems. We also witnessed highly sophisticated dynamic payload drop mechanisms. These aren't just gravity drops. These are sensor-synced systems that calculate wind drift, altitude velocity, and moving target metrics to ensure lethal precision for tactical drops, all controlled by onboard AI without requiring a constant hackable data link back to a human operator.
Parallel to the physical exhibition, the auditorium hosted DEF-TECH Con 2026, a high-stakes international conference featuring over 20 intense knowledge-sharing seminars. This is where the overarching philosophy of future warfare was debated. The tracks focused heavily on C4ISR architectures and split cleanly into three vital pillars. Track 1 was all about AI-native defense systems. The consensus among the panelists was clear. The time of humans manually sifting through hours of drone surveillance footage is over. The modern battlespace requires algorithms that process multispectral sensor feeds on the fly, instantly flagging anomalies, categorizing threats, and presenting optimized fire control solutions to commanders within seconds. Track 2 deep dived into secure communications and cyber defense. In an era where everything is networked, your network is your greatest vulnerability. The presentations detailed the engineering of hyper-encrypted tactical communication frameworks capable of surviving brutal electronic warfare attacks, ensuring that data keeps flowing between the infantrymen on the ground and the orbital assets above. Which brings us to Track 3, Space Technology and Orbital Surveillance. Panelists explored the integration of low Earth orbit logistics and next-generation radar imaging satellites to establish absolute, unblinking surveillance over vast geographical theaters, removing the fog of war entirely.
When you look at the sheer density of tech packed into May 21st, Day 2 of DEF-TECH Bharat 2026 wasn't just an exhibition, it was a declaration. It proved that the future of defense belongs to nations that can seamlessly merge software intelligence with hardened hardware. It highlighted a definitive shift toward autonomous systems, resilient electronic warfare architectures, and an unyielding commitment to local engineering sovereignty. Now, an interesting note for those looking at the academic or workforce side of this massive industry: if you are tracking the educational or collaborative pipelines of the event, Day 3, May 22nd, is where things change. The strict student entry pipeline opens up exclusively after 1:30 p.m., enforcing a rigid formal dress code and faculty escort mandate to introduce the next generation of software engineers and innovators to the defense tech ecosystem. What do you think is the most critical piece of tech displayed on Day 2? Is it autonomous, GPS-denied drone fleets, or the rush toward custom military silicon? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and leave a like if you want to stay ahead of the curve on global defense and aerospace technology. We'll see you on the next deep dive, right here on EdgeVerse Intelligence.